Have you ever asked yourself, what can I do to invite my students to be a little bit more engaged and participate in my weekly gathering? If you have, you're not alone. We've had many teachers who have asked that same question and who have wanted to help the students kind of come out of their shells or participate more in the learning experience. I had a teacher who just recently shared with us on one of our posts, and she said this: it has helped so much to have a gathering and sharing portion for the first 10 minutes of class. And that's a really great suggestion that might be able to help engage our students. And I want to share with you a little bit of what the curriculum has to help you to do something like that. If you come here to the week, there's a teacher materials section. And in this teacher materials section, there are a couple of sections called Invite, Sharing, and Learn Together. And I'd like to show you what each of these do and invite you to consider these things. In the Invite Sharing section, there is the opening activity suggestion. And in every single week, there's some type of engagement activity to help students get going, maybe to participate more, maybe even turn on their cameras. And I'd invite you to look at this and ask yourself, can I use this in my class? Or is there a little tweak that I can do with this that would help my students be more interested in participating? It's a great springboard and to get your mind going right here. In addition, for each of the lessons, you'll notice that there are 2 discussion prompt questions. For example, Joseph Smith History 1, one of the questions is, how can you relate to Joseph Smith and the confusion he experienced? How can we use his example when we are confused? The idea of this is to invite students to think about what they've recently studied. If you have a end of week class, they've probably studied these already, or at least hopefully they have. If you have a class gathering at the beginning of the week, you may want to look at the previous week's questions to see which kind of questions the students have studied, which lessons they've studied, and which questions you feel would be relevant to them. You may be able to pick just 1 or 2 of these to kind of get the class going on a discussion and to invite sharing. In addition, down here, there's a Learn Together section, and these are to help you with the lesson that you've selected to teach for your gathering. And these are digital suggestions. For example, let's take a look at Joseph Smith History 1 through 14. During this lesson, you may invite students to find a meaningful scripture. They could then create a poster or a meme to remember the verses, or they could find an image in the media library that they could print and save as a background on their device. This is to encourage the use of digital stuff that, while you may not be able to have a classroom setting where they're physically doing things together, they can take a few minutes and go, in this case, to the media library and utilize the digital resources that they do have around them. So in the class that you choose to teach, or the lesson that you choose to teach, always check this section. And then if it happens to be a life prep lesson, you can come down here to the bottom, or you can come here, excuse me, not the bottom, you can come down here to the top, and you can find the additional life prep lesson resources, and this is where those suggestions are in this term. I hope these help, and I'd be interested in hearing how these work for you, how you utilize these resources, and what they do to encourage sharing and participation for your students. Have a good day.